I just want to talk a little bit about the misconceptions that we have about the Nigerian community to the African American community and the African American community to the Nigerian community. I'm only speaking from my experiences, what I've seen and what I've experienced. And I think there's a lot of unfortunate misconceptions about each of the cultures, right? And so I think we have to really educate ourselves about each individual culture and where we stand and the hardships that we've both been through and how we've come out of those hardships. Some of the things too that I think has skewed our view of each other is what we've learned in school books, what we've seen in movies, what we've read in the media and newspapers, right? Growing up, Africa was not painted in a positive light for me growing up from the textbooks, right? From growing up, we're taught in school that all Africans are poor and they need our help based off of the TV commercials that we would see, right? Which is far from the truth, right? In Nigeria, I've spoken to a lot of Nigerians who, from what they've seen on television, what they've read, what they've seen in the media, think African Americans curse a lot, we're lazy, we don't like to work, and that's absolutely not true, right? Just like when I go to Nigeria, right? You have your rich part of Nigeria, you have your middle class Nigerians, you have your poor Nigerians. In America, you have your rich, your middle class, and your poor. A lot of times I see the ghetto. Oh, Americans can be very ghetto. You get ghetto no matter where you go. There's ghetto folks in Nigeria just like there's ghetto folks in America. It is the same thing, right? We are just individuals raised in a different culture, but the landscape of our lives are pretty much the same, right? Unfortunately, we do have a little bit more access here. Well, fortunately, we have more access here when it comes to some of the essentials, but that doesn't make us better. And that doesn't make Nigerians any less, right? Nigerians are considered one of the most educated population of people, I think, in the world, right? African American women are considered the most highly educated group around, right? So we're both doing our thing when it comes to education. I just think we also just need to open our eyes and really understand each other's dynamic historically. Really understand that one rotten apple does not spoil the entire bunch, and just open our minds to see it from a different view, right? And so that's the thing that I've seen and I've experienced. And I've had conversations with my Nigerian friends. I've had conversations with my African American and American friends about this topic. And when you start talking, it's just a misconception. It's a misconception, right? And but when I see it come together and I see the understanding on both sides, it's a beautiful thing, right? When I see one of my African American sisters or my African American brothers talking proudly about their Nigerian friends and in-laws and people that they've met, it's just a beautiful thing. Same thing when I hear a Nigerian man or a Nigerian woman, have really close African American friends and have positive things to say and have had that social experience. It's a beautiful thing, right? And what I'll say, we just really need to just get to know one another and understand that any culture, any society, black, white, African, Nigerian, Hispanic, we all got the same problems and the same issues. We really do. Some more than others, right? And some have a different complicated dynamic to it, but that does not brighten the entire society, right? I would say open your mind, read your books, understand the history, and understand the individual in their situation. Don't whitewash them and paintbrush them based off of something that can be debunked.